Ayo would wake before the village did. She rose before the sun, and without rest began the daily fight. No one could remember the last time she smiled, not even herself. Yet she still carried her burden and her hope. The dirt road was long, just like Ayo's life. Each step carried the weight of her past. Each turn of the wheel crushed a little more of her hope. But she never stopped. At the other end of the village, a black car approached. Covered in dust, it rolled in like a messenger from another world, and it carried fate within it. Kweku was inside that car. The boy who once played in the mud with Ayo now wore a suit and tie. But his eyes still held that same boy. With his bodyguard behind him, Kweku scanned the village. Everything looked the same, except one face. Even after all these years, he recognized her instantly. Her tired face, her tear-filled eyes. But the nobility in her spirit still shone bright. Ayo slipped. The sack tumbled over. Her knees slammed into the ground. But she didn't look up for help. Kweku took a step forward but stopped when he saw her eyes. This woman didn't want help. She demanded respect. The bodyguard looked at Kweku as if asking, "Should I help?" But Kweku shook his head. This was Ayo's battle. No one could fight it for her. With muddy hands, Ayo grabbed the wheelbarrow again. Her life felt like that wheel, always turning, never stopping. And she wasn't letting go. Kweku didn't turn back to his car. In that moment, he felt like he'd found something more valuable than anything else. Himself. That rain didn't just wash over the village that day. It cleansed something inside Kweku, too. Ayo walked to the edge of the village. She never looked back. Because she didn't need anyone's pity. Kweku didn't follow her. But he stayed in the village that night. For the first time, he passed the night in silence. The next morning, Ayo's door knocked, not with help, but with a partnership. What Kweku brought wasn't money. It was a chance. He believed in Ayo's hands, and he was ready to listen to her voice. For the first time, someone asked her what she needed. For the first time, someone heard her silent scream. For the first time, someone asked her what she needed. For the first time, someone heard her silent scream. Ayo accepted the project, but she had one condition. I don't beg. I work. As an equal. The village women gathered around her. Some had been left by their husbands. Some had hungry children. But Ayo became a path for them all. Kweku no longer wore suits when he visited, because here what mattered wasn't status, it was respect. Ayo opened a small shop, the name Ayo's Strength, and when people looked at the sign, they remembered their own. But no one knew the emptiness inside her. Not success, not money. Ayo was still alone. One evening, Kweku knocked again. But this time it wasn't business. It was his heart. That night they drank tea together. No words. But everything was said. It was as if the weight inside Ayo had finally lifted. For the first time in years. She didn't cry through the night. The next morning, a new sign went up in the village. Ayo's Learning Center opens. Now children would write their own destinies. Kweku didn't go back to the city. He had chosen another life now. He listened to his heart. Now, a legend lives in the village. There once was a woman who washed her tears and painted them into hope. Ayo and Kweku walked beyond the village, under a large tree. Kweku pulls out a small seedling. New beginnings start with soil, he says. A light rain begins to fall. But this time Ayo doesn't run. She walks with her face turned to the sky. That night, Ayo opens her mother's old trunk. Inside, she finds a letter she wrote as a child to Kweku, but never sent. The next day, Kweku takes off his old wristwatch and places it on Ayo's arm. Maybe we lost time, but we found life, he says. She takes the village women in a minibus to the city council. Kweku doesn't walk beside them, he walks behind, because this was their moment. She takes the village women in a minibus to the city council. Kweku doesn't walk beside them, he walks behind, because this was their moment. I'm not a burden, she says. I'm a bridge between the past and the future. That night, they return to the village under a sky full of stars. Kweku and Ayo sit again beneath the same tree. No words are needed now. The sapling planted by Ayo and Kweku grew over the years. Each leaf told a new story. The path opened by Ayo reached other villages. A small woman had started a significant movement. One day, a black car returned to the village. This time it was welcomed not with fear, but with love and respect. The car door opened and a woman stepped out. She was a leader who had heard Ayo's story from afar. Holding Ayo's hands, the leader said, "You gave me strength. My story began with you." In the evening, villagers gathered around a fire. Stories shared were no longer of heroism, but of humanity. Kweku pulled a small ring from his pocket. "Ayo, you are my past, my present, and my future," he said. When Ayo said yes, the whole village erupted in applause. All the pain seemed to vanish instantly. On the wedding day, everyone wore white because everyone in the village had been reborn. Years passed, and the village thrived. Ayo's vision continued to inspire generations. Ayo became a figure celebrated beyond her village. Yet she remained humble, rooted in her origins. Kweku, by her side, supported every new initiative. Their partnership was a beacon of hope. He educational center they built flourished. Children once without dreams were now filled with ambition. The small sapling became the village's heart. Under its shade, wisdom passed from old to young. Visitors from around the world came to learn from Ayo. Her simple yet profound wisdom reached distant places. One evening, Ayo and Kweku watched the sunset. "We've come so far," whispered Kweku softly. Ayo smiled and said, "Our journey was never about distance, but about depth." The village had changed, but its soul remained unchanged, a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. Their story became legend, not for its drama, but for its truth and sincerity.